He said he
theories,
escaped ISIS.
the false flag operation conspiracy theories.
I don't believe him. I'm just reporting what.
No, I understand.
There's a strong movement out there that said Assad did not do this.
Well, I suppose because the intelligence community has so damaged its credibility that you beget some of these conspiracy theories. We just spoke with Brett Baer, the Trump administration, also saying that no, it's pretty certain that it was Assad who was responsible for the chemical attack that killed all those people, and those people were actually killed. So, conspiracy theories are fun, I guess. Not in this context, but they can be fun. Trump has certainly engaged in them previously. Ted Cruz's father, Obama's birth certificate. So I understand the penchant for such interest, but they're the repository of weak minds. There is no evidence to support any of those claims. There is nobody credible reporting those claims. And so I think, I don't know for certain. I wasn't on the ground in Syria, but, at some point, the manifest weight of the evidence takes you in an obvious direction. So I think we should go there until somebody wants to present compelling contrary evidence. And we should dispense with conspiracy theories. We should just stick with talking about the policy choice, the implications of the policy choice that Trump made by launching those strikes last night, and whether you agree or disagree on what basis. But let's please, you want to do the black helicopter stuff, you want to tune in your tinfoil hat, then go listen to Alex Jones or some other goofball who just is kind of exists to sell doomsday prepper merchandise to people that don't want to address adult contentions, because that's just not what we do here. You know what I mean?
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Introducing the perfect getaway, nestled in the prairie, a place you can go to unload the stress of the day and recharge your inner peace. A place that fills your senses with fresh air and the sweet sounds of your Second Amendment rights being exercised. It's where you go to clear your head.
Set your sights for the range at 355. Shoot in a brand new state-of-the-art facility with 2 ranges, one programmable for distance and the other for turning and tactical drills, featuring Mancom Touch Plus and Mancom Touch and Go systems. Trust us, it's cool. The Range at 355, situated on a private parcel of wetlands at the crossroads of I-55 and 355, right off Boughton Road. A shooting oasis with a full array of firearms, ammunition, accessories, and classes with professional guidance and courteous instruction. Take a vacation from the mundane. The Range at 355, founded by patriots like you. For range hours and info, visit range355.com.
Hey, 847-926-0700. Call this number, and it could bring you thousands of extra dollars right to your wallet. The Art House Gallery is back in Chicagoland. Do you have any jewelry, diamonds, gold, silver, antiques? How about paintings, porcelain, or Fabergé? Maybe high-end pocket or wristwatches, Rolexes, Cartier, Tiffany, or Breitling? Well, if you do, call the Art House Gallery now at 847-926-0700. Get cash for your valuables today. You can meet in their office in Highland Park or in the privacy of your own home or bank. Now, the Art House Gallery makes it easy and convenient. They're professional and respectful. Your items and collectibles may be worth thousands in cash paid directly to you. So gather up your jewelry, diamonds, gold, antiques, paintings, high-end watches, and more, and call to schedule a meeting with the Art House Gallery. You'll be glad you did. Get cash for your valuables today. Call 847-926-0700. That's 847-926-0700, or online at chicagoarthousegallery.com.
Pat Boone here with an urgent question for every American with a bank savings account, stock portfolio, or 401k retirement account. Today, we know nothing that's posted online is truly private or safe from being hacked, including our national secrets held by the CIA, NSA, and top intelligence agencies. That being the case, what can you do to protect your hard-earned wealth? Well, one book explains it all. Don't bank on it. From the most respected source I know of, Swiss America. And get this, for a limited time, the first 500 callers can get a free copy. Call 800-289-2646. 800-289-2646. Now, learn how to protect your money and do it now. Call 800-289-2646. Learn how to protect your money against what even the CIA cannot protect. 800-289-2646 for your free copy of Don't Bank on It.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
All right, meanwhile, back at the ranch, we'll discuss March jobs numbers with Scott the Cow Guy, Scott Shalady from Fox Business at 7:37.
And later, remembering Don Rickles. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, 35 degrees. There are calls from Russia today for an urgent meeting of the UN Security Council addressing the U.S. missile attack on a Syrian airbase. Warships in the Mediterranean fired nearly 60 missiles at that base, where the U.S. says Syrian forces launched a chemical attack on its own civilians, and a mix of praise and some criticism from Capitol Hill. Senator Marco Rubio praising the Trump decision to launch U.S. airstrikes against Syria. Florida Republican says the attack by the administration will damage Syrian President Bashar al-Assad.
Assad didn't just possess chemical weapons, but was prepared to use them again at any moment, including sarin gas. And if that were the case, then I think certainly you would have justification.
Meantime, the Senate is expected to confirm Supreme Court nominee Neil Gorsuch today after Republicans triggered a rules change. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell.
This is the latest escalation in the left's never-ending judicial war, the most audacious yet, and it cannot and it will not stand.
London's Metropolitan Police say a 31-year-old Romanian tourist who plunged into the Thames from Westminster Bridge during an attack on Britain's House of Parliament has died more than 2 weeks after the terror attack. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame will grow larger, welcoming the class of 2017 tonight. Journey, ELO, yes, Joan Baez, Pearl Jam, Tupac Shakur, and Nile Rodgers, all being enshrined in the Rock Hall. Traffic flowing again on Ogden Avenue here in Chicago, actually in Aurora in the Chicago area, following a police standoff earlier this morning near Farnsworth Avenue. A Milwaukee County man facing charges after authorities say they found a mock IED in his suitcase at an airport in Toronto. That flight headed to Chicago's O'Hare. And Democrats in the Illinois House are on board with a plan to spend $800 million to get universities and social service providers through the next few months of the budget impasse. Cubs over the Cardinals in St. Louis, 6-4. White Sox beat up on the Tigers 11-2. Jimmy Butler and the Bulls, winners over Philadelphia, 102-90. And the Ducks were 4-0 victors over the Blackhawks last night. The news, a service of Staples. HP Savings Month at Staples means big savings on great HP products all month long. Buy one HP ink and get the second at 40% off and experience the outstanding print quality of HP ink. Ends 4/8. Restrictions apply. See staples.com/HP month. Staples, make more happen. 7:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager sees yet another double standard from the left.
The reaction of people on the left to the revelation by Vice President Mike Pence that he does not dine alone with a woman other than his wife. If Pence were a Muslim and this was their culture, the left would be gushing about how wonderful it is.
The Dennis Prager Show, weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Cabela's Fishing Classic, new products, amazing deals. Your one stop before the water. Get 25% off all Rapala tools, lures, and tackle bags in store and online at Cabela's.com.
If you have pain, listen up, Dennis Prager here. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You don't have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. So Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication pain and all of its side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com.
7:36. Let's get your update on the roads. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. On the northbound tri-state, it's stop and go from the mile-long bridge to 31st Street and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. The Adams Tollway's fine. Reagan Tollway heavy Farnsworth to Wheel. Veterans Memorial, a little slow Butterfield to Roosevelt. Edens is 21 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, up on 27. Kennedy, 40 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, up on 28. The Eisenhower, 59 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, up on 41. Stevenson, 50 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, up on 39. The Ryan is 30 minutes. 95 to downtown. And traffic is a service of Staples. Filing your own taxes this year? Staples helps you be accountable with everything you need for tax season for less. With storage boxes and filing supplies to software like QuickBooks and TurboTax. Right now, get up to $10 off when you buy TurboTax. In-store only ends 4/15/17. Staples, make more happen. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Sunny and 56 today, partly cloudy 39 overnight. Beautiful Saturday ahead. High 68 under sunny skies. 36 at O'Hare. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is sponsored by Wine Time Radio. Every Saturday at 5 p.m. on AM 560. Explore the wonderful world of wine with host James Crooker and Rob Lehner.
You want more than just the headlines? Find out what's going on and what it means with me, Dennis Prager, this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Well, the March jobs report is out, and it is not good news. An anemic 98,000 jobs created in March. You know, replacement number is like rough numbers, 150,000 a month. So this ain't good news, and there's a lot of reports out this week about Wall Street getting a little jumpy about Trump's ability to make America great again anytime soon. In fact, Ray Dalio, who is the founder of the world's largest hedge fund, Bridgewater, he issued a 61-page report examining the rise of populist political leaders in advanced economies since 1900, finding many commonalities. Classic populist economic policies include protectionism, nationalism, increased infrastructure building, increased military spending, greater budget deficits, and quite often capital controls. And that's the setup for an economy that doesn't turn out terribly well. Are we on the cusp of that after all of the enthusiasm about deregulation and substantial structural tax cuts coming in the immediacy after Trump's inauguration? Well, for more on this discussion, we're pleased to be joined by our friend, Scott the Cow Guy, Scott Shellady, Fox Business News contributor. Scott, thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
So your reaction to that 98,000 number for March?
I think you're a little kind. It stinks. Just when the market thought we were going to get some sort of momentum, we had two good ADP numbers, private jobs numbers, in a row, and it looked as though we were setting up for maybe another good non-farm number from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, but it just didn't pan out that way. And really what that tells us is this aircraft carrier of an economy is going to be much more difficult to turn around. I mean, I and as well as the rest of the Wall Street were hoping that, we've had good numbers with Obama in the past, but they're always followed by a bad number to prove that they were just outliers. And this is, once again, one of those situations where a great number was followed by a bad number, and that good number last month was revised lower as well. So this is not good. Now, everybody's going to focus on the unemployment rate falling to 4.5%, which is the lowest since 2007. I wish we would just throw that number away. That number doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
It's economically insignificant because it's so skewed, and it just doesn't really reach the bottom where you need to really get a good feel for things. And so don't even really take a gander at that. I think obviously the Syria situation, the bombings, and the jobs number are going to be the highlights for today, and maybe the Syria situation overrides it. But boy, oh boy, it's playing havoc with the bond market, and I think this number is going to continue with that.
Well, what could President Trump do to fix this? To stop the market from going in this direction? I mean,
yeah, right. If I knew, I wouldn't tell anybody. I'd do it myself and retire. Well, he's done a great job with consumer confidence and getting the attitude of the country turned around. But that still doesn't, you can't go buy a beer with attitude, right? You need to show me the money. And the bond market is like the Missouri state, right? It's the show me state of the world. The bonds really trade off the back of what have you done for me lately? They're the true barometer of what's happening out there. And actually, it dwarfs the equity market. People don't talk about bonds because they're not sexy. They're kind of boring. But the money invested in the bond market dwarfs the equity market. Equities, you can judge them on touchy-feely things. I think this stock is going to do well. Some things go get momentum because it's in vogue. But really, the bond market's been the one that's been telling us there are some worries on the horizon. The bond market has not been acting as happy as the stock market has at all. So this bond market is telling us that Trump better find something. Nobody really knows what he's got to be able to do because putting people back to work and having that unemployment rate, that doesn't mean anything. He's got to put people back to work with quality jobs. But this whole idea is good for optics by keeping jobs in America. But, while it's good for optics, we're still losing jobs overseas and we're still less competitive. And if this bombing thing continues and there's more of a flight to the dollar, bonds, and gold, the dollar's going to get more expensive. That's going to be a synthetic interest rate hike, and that's going to slow the economy down some more again. So his hands are tied. You know what he needs? He needs some sort of economic innovation, kind of like the internet that we just can't see right now, to kind of bring us out of our doldrums, because that's what the internet did the last time around, right? We need something like that none of us can think of right now to really kind of turn the ship around.
Boy, if that's the order of the day, that's a pretty tall one. I mean, your point is well taken. After a 15% run-up in the 4 months after the election, the Dow is now down about 2% over the last month. And it's essentially treading water after Trump's efforts to repeal and replace Obamacare have stalled. And you mentioned bond yields and the dollar sagging, but that may alter if the bombings continue. And so in lieu of, inventing the fourth wave tomorrow, what about the importance of those structural personal and corporate tax cuts, particularly corporate?
Well, I mean, I know there's so many small businesses that fall into that corporate tax issue, but, as far as the net total receipts for taxes, I mean, a lot of the mom and pop, pay a lot of tax. I mean, it's a big piece of the pie. I know we're going to start with corporate, but the reason why we've only seen a 2% dip in the equity prices, Dan and Amy, is because the market still believes that there is a chance, probably a greater than 50-50 chance, that one of those three tenets of his presidency come true in some sort of fashion. We get some sort of tax cut. We get some sort of regulation rollback. Obamacare would be that regulation rollback, and Obamacare would be a synthetic tax cut as well, and also some sort of infrastructure spending plan. The market still believes that there's a good chance of getting something done in all three of those tenets. And if that's the case, then the bond market probably could be wrong, and then the equity market's right. But if it's not the case, the equity market's got a long way to fall if that's the case, and the bonds have been right this whole time. And so far,
that's an encouraging
bonds
sign.
have been right. Bonds have been right. Remember, since we hiked interest rates, bonds have only rallied. That's perverse.
All right, I'm turning this over to Amy. I got to call my guy over at Morgan Stanley after that statement.
All right. Well, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. That's clear. And nobody's got the answers. That's also clear.
All right. So this weekend, Donald Trump is hosting the president of China. They're going to talk about trade deficits. Is there anything he could do to soften or better that relationship when it comes to trade, to benefit us more than China?
I think fortunately or unfortunately, he's a straight talker and he puts it out there. And I think that all the negative news, anything that's uncomfortable, has already been tweeted or talked about.
Yeah.
So maybe the only thing that can come out of this is going to be something good, number one. Number two is I think that you got to go back to Ronald Reagan, who said that of the 4 major wars that he witnessed in his lifetime, none of them came about because the U.S. was too strong.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I've talked to everybody this morning, from cab drivers to hedge fund managers on Wall Street, and to a man, they all believe that the U.S. taking control again and coming back as a strong player on the global stage could actually be very, very good for the markets in the short and long term. So that might be something that could help the economy. Amy, to your first question, and to the second question, he embarked upon that strategy whilst the Chinese premier was there. So I think that only good things can come out of this meeting, because I think all the negative has already been out there and tweeted and talked about. And I think we do have some leverage in that relationship that the rest of the world, or at least the left, doesn't really believe that we do, but we do have some leverage. And I think that it will be a good thing. I mean, there's one good thing that Donald Trump's good at, and I think he's good at getting a lot of people aligned in the same direction that might not all have the same interests, and this could be just one of those. So there could actually be a silver lining on all this, but we still need some time.
Okay, all right. I'm going to go back to my posture during the Obama years and start restockpiling ammunitions and munitions, I suppose. Doomsday prepper stuff. Scott Shalady, contributor to Fox Business, a market expert. Thanks so much for joining us as usual, Scott. Thanks, appreciate it.
Okay, guys, have a good weekend. Thanks.
You too, and he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm a doomsday prepper. You were making fun of us earlier. Now you're kind of back on the doomsday prepper team, huh?
Yes, please share your rations with me.
Don't get near my house. Today, plenty of sunshine, a high of 56 degrees. The weekend looks great. Seriously, you're going to just love this. Mostly sunny tomorrow, a high near 70. And on Sunday, we're going to have mostly cloudy skies, some breaks for sun, but warm, a high between 76 to 78 degrees. Let's get into our alarm detection systems traffic center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. Downtown Chicago, Randolph Street remains closed. In Franklin and Wacker, due to a cracked window at a high-rise, Franklin has reopened this morning between Washington and Lake Street. The Edens is 21 minutes from Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 27. Kennedy, 40 minutes O'Hare to downtown, 18 from Montrose, 15 in the Express, outbound 28 minutes to the airport. The Eisenhower, now an hour and 3 minutes, Thorndale to the post office, 50 minutes from Manheim, outbound 54 to Thorndale. Stevenson, 50 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 39. Ryan is 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, heavy Irving Park to Fullerton and 18th to the Stevenson. Tri-State southbound it's slow from Balmoral to the O'Hare Oasis. Northbound from Archer to 31st and from the Reagan to North Avenue. Veterans Memorial slow 75th most of the way to Roosevelt and Army Trail to 290. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Hey, today we'd like to thank Ken Hennigan for listening to AM 560 The Answer. Ken Hennigan, thanks for making Chicago's Morning Answer and AM 560 part of your day. Hey, you're probably not thinking about back to school season right now, are you? Many of us just got done with spring break. CPS is starting theirs today, but now's a great time to be thinking about where you want to send your son or daughter to school this fall. It's a big decision, and many of you have felt like private school simply wasn't in the budget. But we want to remind you and tell you about halfpriceschools.com, because at halfpriceschools.com, you can find local private schools from all over the Chicagoland area, including Romeoville, South Holland, Chicago, Arlington Heights, just to name a few. They're offering a full year of tuition at half the price with no catch. Simply click on the tuition voucher and prepare to send your son or daughter off to school this fall. It's really that simple. So make private schools affordable for your family for the first time. But I remind you that these vouchers sell out every year. So visit halfpriceschools.com today. That's halfpriceschools.com.
My daughter started school, and I find myself worrying if she is getting home safe while I'm still at work. I wish I could check up on her.